There's a significant difference between Phil Spencer and, say, some random Amazon executive when it comes to gaming. It's very obvious that Spencer's time in Xbox has given him what I think is not just an insight but a pulse on gamers and the gaming community to quickly accept basically reality in many cases, adapt, and move in a way that can sustain your company and not put your developers and your teams in dire straits. What I've noticed is the notion that somewhere, somehow, these companies can continue business as usual, and that is the way to sustainability, is interesting. And even what's surprising is the gamers themselves think that things can still continue normally, and then they can still have the gaming industry continue to be what it was. You have to realize that the gaming industry is going to first have to collapse for you to see a better industry. And right now, we're going through booms in some cases, but many a bust. In this particular industry, something like Game Pass is basically getting blown up. It's much more robust than it is. And I'm seeing a lot of people talk about Game Pass. You know, there's a minimization that goes on. And this audience member said that this reminds him of the Amazon strategy. Run around, buy up stuff, and make things cheap. Now, this is very interesting because run around, buy up stuff, make things cheap, that is something that you're categorizing to products, because when Game Pass actually provides you this service, in order for you to still buy the games on Game Pass, you still have to spend money, market pricing in this regard anyways, to be able to go ahead and buy these particular things that you claim are cheap. Because if I'm looking right here at a game like Indiana Jones, yes, for the people on Game Pass, they get to get discounts as a benefit of their own subscription service, but $55.99 still ain't cheap. Unless, of course, you want to abandon that Netflix subscription that you probably know somebody that knows somebody that knows somebody that owns, where they can't even buy the game. So this talk about make everything cheap is so weird, because right in front of us, there were people who mocked and laughed and said, ha ha ha, they increased the price of Game Pass, you see? So what is this mental gymnastics or an attempt of some kind that I'm seeing? They said, gobbling up everything in sight, and when the time is right and there's no more competition, then you make all the money in the world. Okay, then you said Game Pass isn't sustainable. A service that you're basically comparing to making products cheap, where they just recently raised the price that people mocked, and all of this stuff, where the CEO Phil Spencer has already talked about how much money he puts in every year to Game Pass, about $1 billion, and how much money Game Pass actually makes. We got to see from leaks at the Brazilian economic defense authority. And you said, and I don't even like it personally. I like to own the game I play. Your comment should have just said, and I don't like it personally. That's probably, in this particular, huge block of statements that you made, that's more than likely the only relevant thing, because, again, anybody who wants to, in a sense, in quote, own a license to a game that is available on Game Pass is free to do so. They can click, buy, and purchase the item. The only difference is if it's an Xbox game, it's granted you the possibility to play it without committing to buying it. If this proposition is, in your own mind, something that you don't like, all you have to say is that you like it, because when you look at the Amazon paradigm is almost comparable to the PlayStation paradigm, because PlayStation has taken the aggressive approach to try to remove Xbox from the gaming business and has been trying this for many years and has still not succeeded in doing it. Why I say it looks like the Amazon paradigm is simply because Amazon also tried doing something like this to Steam. In fact, they took a different approach, and this is very interesting because apparently this particular article here talked about how Amazon tried to beat Steam, but despite being 2,050 times bigger, it still lost. Now, this is weird because in this case, Microsoft is bigger, or I don't know how many times bigger, but the Xbox gaming division has just been here, even through the thick and the thin. This article talked about a former Amazon Games executive who explained how the company's strategy to take on Steam never worked, despite all what they tried. In fact, here's a picture of it. He talks about how they tried for 15 years to challenge Steam even before he was the VP. They tried to enter the online gaming store market through acquisition, didn't work. They acquired Reflexive Entertainment, didn't work. They bought Twitch, didn't work. Finally, they put up Luna, and then they finally said, you know what? Steam is not necessarily easily toppled. Why is Steam not easily toppled? The comments on this LinkedIn post, that's where people started telling this former VP, dude, the reason Steam is undefeated is because Steam is very pro-consumer. That's Steam's own moniker. A pro-consumer platform where players can receive customer protection in terms of their own gaming. Xbox has looked at this mantra and has decided to adopt something similar. Phil Spencer speaks it every day. When you buy a game on our platform, you have access to cross entitlements. We respect your games, and as you buy them, they have all of these benefits to them, and also you have options to be able to play your games, be it on a subscription, be it on your own console hardware, or be it on your PC. And even in some cases, we don't want you to have to be forced to buy another platform to buy our games. We want to take games to where you are. A pro-consumer stance. If you think PlayStation is going to beat that, then I have a bridge somewhere in Alaska to sell you, because consumers are naturally attracted to where brand gives them value. All of this internet talking heads, every single one of them, what makes me laugh is that they have a Game Pass subscription. If that doesn't even tell you anything about it, whether they got it by doing some, conversions or whatever it is, they still were attracted enough to the proposition to get a subscription. I don't know how much more I can say that is a testament to anybody that is looking at Game Pass to go ahead and get Game Pass. When its biggest detractors, those who claim they don't like it, have subscriptions to it. Because there's nothing like that on the other side in terms of PlayStation. Even PlayStation realized that they themselves could not pull that off, and that was not going to happen, because that's not a company that is necessarily there to give you value. So Valve, Xbox Gaming right now are providing some solid value. The day that they stop, it's the day that their customers walk away. The customers are not obliged to sit there and entertain nonsense. Why does anybody think that has to be the case? So sure, you may not like Game Pass because you prefer to own your games. That's all right. No one is stopping you from owning your games. Or do you still think that Game Pass is like Netflix? Because some people still think that. Like, we will make 50 or 5,000 videos and people will still say, oh, because I like to own my games. Okay, what the heck does that even mean? Has nothing to do with the conversation. So sure, let's see PlayStation try to topple Xbox in this next season. I'm here with the popcorn. Who knows? It may happen. Who knows? It may not happen. But I know one thing about consumers. They like value. It's an inherent part of the human nature, regardless of what it is that you say. In some areas, a consumer is going to seek value. All you need is more people seeking value in the PlayStation ecosystem. And at the turn of the generation, a lot of them are going to realize that there's value somewhere that PlayStation is not providing them. We'll see how that plays out. They may get a PC, and I'm all for that too. So thanks for watching the video. I appreciate the comment. Appreciate you all so much. Talk to me a lot. Talk to me, you lot in the comment section. Peace out.